Okay, today we're going over PA State Law 3. Okay, so today we've got a lot of numbers. All right, so if you have an operator's license or a cosmetologist license, you have to renew it once every 2 years by January 31st. That's called biannually to renew it. The renewal fee every 2 years is $67 at this time. Obviously, that number is going to change, but right now it's $67. If you have a teacher's license, like Mrs. Schaefer, Mrs. Miller, Chris, myself, your renewal fee every 2 years is $105. Okay, so you want to open up a beauty shop. So we had some training on business this week. You have to be at least 18, which just makes sense. If you are going to try to get a loan from a bank, you might have an easier time if you're older than that, or maybe you have a parent or a grandparent that would like to invest in that, something like that. But you have to be 18. I opened up my beauty shop when I was 23. So I worked at 2 different shops before that. I would not suggest opening up a shop right out of school. I think there's way too much you need to learn from other people over and above what you learned in school before you go on your own. Okay? When you do open up a salon, the required floor space for a salon, you need 180 square feet for the first employee and 60 square feet for the second employee. So if you think about it, 180 square feet would be a room, if you're really simplifying it, 18 feet long and 10 feet wide. Okay, so that's the minimum you need. And trust me, it's hard to get everything into a space that small. You need a station, you need a shampoo area, you probably need a dryer, you need chairs for people to sit in. It's not the easiest thing in the world. That's a very small space. Even for one person, it gets pretty scrunchy. If you get a second person, then you need another 60 square feet. So that, if you simplify it again, it would be like 6 feet by 10 feet. All right. So my beauty shop and my house was about 240 square feet. So technically, I could have had 2 people working in there. But again, you've got windows to deal with in your space, doors, different things. It was all I could do to get my things in there that I had enough room for what I needed for myself. All right, who do you contact if there's a change in ownership of a school? You contact the board, you let them know that it was sold. I'm sure there's many forms you have to fill out. Where must trade names or fictitious names be registered? Okay, a trade name would be like Holiday Hair, Smart Styles, anything like that. A fictitious name is any name other than your own. So around here, good examples are Cliptations, Beauty Art, Making Waves, Salon Visions. So any name like that has to be registered at the Department of State, the Corporation Bureau. And again, there's forms for that when you go to try to open up a salon. Now, why would you want a fictitious name? Well, a really easy thing to think of is that when you go to sell the salon, say you get to the point where you're ready to retire, it's very easy to sell Cliptations. It's very difficult to sell Melanie Godlip's Beauty Salon. You'd have to rename it. People wouldn't realize it was in the same location. It just becomes very confusing. The other thing is, it just seems a little bit more professional to have a name like that rather than just your name. Who must be required to supervise a salon? The designated person in charge in the absence of the owner must be available. All right, so instead of there being a manager now, the owner just makes someone in charge if they are not there. So during all reasonable business hours. So if a state inspector comes in, somebody is in charge there, either the owner or another person that they have assign that job to. Okay, where shall you display a shop sign? It has to be near your entrance, indicating that it's a salon. So it's kind of vague. Doesn't have to be, 3 feet from the entrance or anything like that. Just near the entrance, indicating that it is a salon. Where a shop and school license is valid, only for the location on the license. This is because when you open up a shop or a school, it's inspected and they make sure that it meets all requirements. So you couldn't do that and then take that license and go open up some ratty shop somewhere that was just all nasty. It's only good for the place where they have inspected. So if you move location of your shop, you must be re-inspected again before it can open. All right, renewal fees for manicures, hair braiders, and estheticians, they are also $67. So on this one, there's 2 numbers that you had to know as far as the fees. Everybody, including cosmetologists, is $67, and then the only one that is more expensive is the teacher. What happens if you let your license expire or it's in escrow over 5 years? You must retake and pass the exam again and submit a renewal application. Okay, you do not want to ever put yourself in the position where you have to retake that exam again. Once you pass it, you're good to go. Don't let that lapse. So they send out the notice like in, beginning of December that your license is up for renewal, and you have until the end of January. So you have 2 full months, even if you forgot to save the money up. Make sure you get that in there before January 31st. Escrow is where you say, I don't want to do hair for a period of time, so I'm just going to put my license in escrow. You do that with the state, and during that time period, you don't have to pay your renewal fees. Now, you can do this for up to 5 years. So how I always think of it is, you had a child and you stayed home with your child, and then when your child went to kindergarten, you went back to work. Problem is, when you take it out of escrow, you have to pay all the fees that you didn't pay while it was in escrow. So instead of paying $67 year 2 and year 4, now you have to pay all of it at one time, and it makes it more difficult for you. So I don't see the benefit of escrow at all. If you put it in escrow and you didn't have to pay those fees when you got it out of escrow, then it makes sense to me. You might as well just keep paying the fees until you're ready to work again. Okay, thanks very much.